Spurs Bros, welcome in to episode 37 of the Spurs Bros podcast. Victor Wembanyama is officially on his way home from Shaolin, China. He's been with a group of monks staying out there for the last 10 days. So we cannot wait to have Victor back inside the city limits of San Antonio. Aside from that, we are looking forward to draft day, less than 1 week away now. We've got a special guest on this week's show. His name is Jack Thompson. You are going to want to stick around for that interview. Jack has some takes on what we should be doing with our picks. So stick around for that. In other news, Kevin Durant might be forcing his way to San Antonio. Royal Ivey might be an addition to Mitch Johnson's staff, and a few other things like should Dylan Harper be guaranteed a starting spot in the rotation game one of next season. Stay tuned for all of that. But again, this is episode 37. Like this video, comment, subscribe down below, and tell a friend, share with the fellow Spurs bro. And here we go, episode 37 right now.
Spurs Bros! Welcome in to episode number 37 of the Spurs Bros podcast. I'm your host, Alec. These are my co-hosts, Stuart Lynch and Reagan. Stuart is back on. We made it back after being absent the last two episodes. I'm back from Hawaii. Wemby's back from being with the Shaolin monks in China. All is right in the world, fellas.
All is right. Stuart, welcome back. You ready to,
All is right.
pop off?
Me and Wemby have been locked away. We've been focused.
Well,
We've been training a lot. We've been doing monk things, some karate kicks, some runs. It's been fun. Played some Chinese ball with the Chinese kid. Great time, but I'm back. I'm ready to rock and roll.
So you were the one filming him, releasing all these videos?
I was going behind the camera.
Oh, shoot. There's the Spurs Bros bomb of the week right there.
Yeah, geez, I know you're part of the posse, dude. Guys, yeah, we are officially 1 week out from the 2025 NBA draft. I feel like we've been waiting forever for this, given the fact that our season ended about a couple months ago, at least at this point. So
2 months, yeah. Plus.
Yeah, I am really, really excited for it. We've got a lot to talk about. We have a special guest coming on. He's our good friend, and can't wait for you to hear him. Anything y'all want to say as we open up? Because I wanted to jump into one of the main things, probably the main event of next week, which is Dylan Harper. But I want to first open it up to you guys and just, anything before we jump into that.
Not really. Let's do this Dylan Harper thing, man.
Yeah. So Dylan Harper, I mean, as we mentioned, Reagan and I last week, it's like, all right, we've all come to the realization, like it was fun for a bit. All the smoke screens were kind of fun and it was interesting and intriguing. And I thought there were some real cases to be made about trading away for it. But all in all, we're not going to trade back for anything. We're not going to trade unless it's for Giannis. I don't think we're trading away too at this point. And that's what it's looking like. You've seen photos of him in Spurs gear. You're hearing reports that the Spurs organization, I think it was Mitch Johnson and Brian Wright, were out in, was it New Jersey, I guess, to go watch him work out. That was his second workout with the Spurs. I think this is happening. And so I think we can all be safe to say that. So really the main topic that I've been seeing circling around, and we've talked about this before this ever circled around, which was, does Dylan Harper deserve a starting spot coming right into the organization right off the rip? Or if not, maybe not even right in, like from game one, but say like game 10. Or do you think it's going to be a Stephon Castle process where, he had to earn his stripes, maybe somebody goes down in injury and he gets to fill the spot? Like, what do y'all think here? Is that too much at the 1 through 3 spot? Or
I mean, what I think should be said is, I mean, like just based on who the Spurs are, how we've done things for so long, Tony Parker didn't even start right off the bat. Like he still, like he got the keys on like game 5 or game 6 of this rookie season, but he still had to come in and prove it on the court and in practice and in camp and everything. I think Dylan Harper should have to prove that he belongs in the starting lineup, force Mitch Johnson's hand to say, look how good I am on both ends of the floor. You not starting me would be a mistake. And he has to not say that, but he has to play that well to make that happen. I think he should come off the bench to start. And if there's pushback there, like Stuart, I don't know what you think on this, but like Castle just did this last year. He started on the bench at the beginning of the season and played himself into that starting role. And it was like, we can't keep this guy out on the bench any longer. I think it should be the same thing, but.
Yeah, exactly. And he wasn't even really controlling our second group either. But I'm with you that definitely got to earn your spot, especially now. I mean, I get it. Most top picks usually are starters on their team right away because they go to ask teams. But we're already in a win now. We're ahead of the rebuild, all that. So I don't think he's gonna start. I mean, if our team right now today,
Yep.
if that who we are going into next season, it's going to be between Harper or Devin to start realistically. So I guess who would you want coming off the bench? I think at this point, we all know how we all feel about Devin, especially how I feel about Devin. But wouldn't we rather have Harper? We know who he is. We think we all know who he is and stuff. He needs to have the ball in his hands to be successful right now with the player he is. So when we want him controlling our second group and all that will help his development as well. If he's in our starting group, Wemby's ahead of him, Fox is ahead of him. Castle's probably supposed to get up a couple more shots than him, and Barnes will be our main shooter in the corner wherever he is, catch and shoot. So I think that'll hinder his development some if he's in that starting group being kind of the fifth option. I'd rather him come off the bench with that second group and be the first or second option, have the ball in his hands, coming up the floor, all that stuff. So, I mean, for development-wise, and like you said, Reagan, Spurs, he has to earn his spot. But I'd be shocked if he started the year.
Completely agree. I mean, I think I'd be shocked if he started at all this season, barring somebody else,
Barring
De'Aaron
injury.
Fox, De'Aaron and or Stephon being out for a game or whatever it is for injury. So yeah, I think you're right. And I was thinking more about this. It's like, I mean, this could work out in a multitude of ways, right? If we love De'Aaron Fox, he pans out well for us, and we have success with him in our organization. We want to keep him even longer term. Maybe he can move to the bench and come off or whatever as Dylan Harper's becoming into a star. But right now, I want to see somebody, whether it be Dylan and I mean, I hate to say it, but Steph, I don't think this would happen, but Steph, one of them coming off the bench and just like be right next to Manu, dude, for a whole season and just like have Manu mentor that person. It makes sense because, lefty to lefty, 6'6", 6'6", same kind of craftiness around the rim. Like it would make sense for Dylan Harper to just like take that Manu role and just be that and flourish in that. I mean, Stuart, we kind of talked about this a little bit. It makes sense if what is he going to say? Like, how is he going to argue? Like, yeah, but I was better than you coming into the draft, like coming into my season versus that doesn't work. He's like, yeah, but I was a Hall of Famer. Like, yeah, I am a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I won whatever 4 championships. Yeah, I'm an Olympic like. You can't like argue, yeah, I'm the number 2 pick and you were the, second round pick. I don't know. I feel like it makes so much sense. I don't know. And
our team will be better if he's in the second group as well. Who's going to be controlling our second group? Then again, if we're going by the team we have now, Blake's going to be running that shit. Yeah. Blake, Devin, Keldon, right, Jeremy, and whoever our 5 it. Like, that's not a solid backup group at all, especially for a team trying to make the playoffs. We'd much rather have him in there, like we said, or Castle. But like you said, like one of the two needs to, and they can be the focal point of the second group.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I just watched an interview this past week where Manu got asked, like, coming off the bench, what did you like about that position? And he said, well, for me, Timmy and Timmy and Tony were coming off the floor, and I got to have the ball in my hands. I had the whole offense at my fingertips, and everything ran through me. I knew I was going to get my shots. I knew it was my time to kind of take over and run things and be in charge. I got to assert myself, and I really liked being in that position. Whereas if he was on the court with Tony and Tim, which he was a lot.
Yeah.
But if that was like his starting, there's not enough to go around. And Manu was better with the ball in his hands, leading that second group. So yeah, I think y'all are spot on. I think we've got this nailed down. Unless barring injury to start the year, Harper should be coming off the bench. And if he ends up playing so damn well that it's like Castle last year, we can't keep getting this guy to come off the bench, like he's got to be in our starting unit and we'll figure out the rotations later, then so be it. But I think to start the year, he's got to come out and prove it, come off the bench, listen to Manu. But
then also, if he's playing that good off the bench, I don't know if we would just screw that up. We all know at this point, CP had the word from the Ivey came here. He was going to start all season because we know Castle earned that shit by halfway through the season, but we still stayed with, and especially once we got to Aaron.
Yeah, remember
CP start the rest of the season. That won't be the case anymore.
Sohan went down with that thumb injury, and that's what opened. Like Stephon had been playing well off the bench, but we keep bringing him off the bench, and everybody was like, you got to start. Then Sohan got hurt, and it was like, all right, we're not going to bring in our backup for like Mamu's not going to start. We're going to just slide everybody down and bring Steph into the starting position. and that's when he like flourished and kind of blew up. So just
obviously by then the season was over, but he did,
yeah. But like he played well off the bench, and I don't think if Sohan had gotten injured, I think it would have been a lot tougher to justify him going into the starting lineup and making all those changes we did. So we'll just see how it plays out. But
yeah.
And again, last year our best run of the season early on, it's when like Devin was coming off the bench. Julian was starting, like all that fits into, and Julian's like realistically one of our only few snipers we have on the team. And guess what? He was thriving around Wemby. He was hitting 3-4 threes a game. And then once he went to the bench, and I called that shit early on. That he will not be as good once he's on the bench playing with these guys because they're not going to get him good looks. And he totally faded the rest of the season. So
unless
again, the starting group needs shooters around Wemby.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, if Harper, but if Julian's off the bench again and Harper's running that, you would imagine.
Yeah, that could be way better. Sure.
Yeah,
exactly.
All that was before we even had De'Aaron, but
a lot of positive things that numbers we can see with him off the bench. Yeah.
So we'll see, but I think we're all in agreement on he should definitely start on the bench to start the season.
Start on the bench. Yeah.
Start on the bench.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Also in the news, I guess this was just today and yesterday, you were seeing more news from, I think it was Pat McAfee had on Shams on his show and was talking
everyone's got to be tuned in. Everyone's got to be tuned in to Pat for the next week because he has Shams on every day and something's happening.
Yeah,
exactly. Something's happening. Kind of felt like, if I'm not mistaken, that we're not really in the running for KD anymore, even though our name has been thrown back out there. Remember, so let me recount from the last podcast. You go ahead,
Reagan.
Reagan.
Been a long month.
Dude, we recorded that. I got called out by so many people in our comments and stuff because we recorded on Friday, like morning, like 2 hours before the news broke that like we were out of the running for KD. And I'm sitting here, we're the betting favorite, like KD's coming to San Antonio, blah, blah, blah. I felt so stupid after that. But a couple days later, I was kind of vindicated because then the news dropped from The Athletic that KD has now come out. His camp has said that out of his preferred options, being us, Miami, Houston, that he specifically wants to play for the Spurs. So I was right, and then I was wrong, and then I was kind of right again, but now we've gone silent for 2 days, so I don't really know where things stand, but the official news is that KD's number one preferred choice is to come to San Antonio to wear a Spurs jersey and play with Wemby and for Mitch Johnson.
And also it's come out in the last couple of weeks is what his number or what he wants his extension to be. And we've all been cool with KD. We've all been saying, price is right, sure. Devin, Harrison, 14, ciao. Let's get KD over here. But then the numbers come out for the extension, and it's all like, whoa.
2 for 160, 57, and then 63 in the second year.
For his 39 to 40 age season, be making 63 mil. Do we want to be the one to have that guy on the books at a 40-year-old? We all think it's crazy. LeBron's still taking like 50. Like, bro, take a cut. You've made all the money in the world. Take a pay cut for your team. Obviously, KD's like about the money, and he wants to be making 63 when he's 40 years old. We all love KD. The man gets buckets, but holy hell, do we want to have that on our books?
No.
And like from their camp side, like LeBron, KD, Steph, like they're going to say, look at what we've done for the league. All these years that I've played, all these records, all these milestones, all the viewers growing the game, I deserve this money. It's from my past. But like again, does Brian Wright and the Holt family want to be the ones that are on the hook for paying a 40-year-old Kevin Durant $63 million?
Exactly.
It's like,
sure, go to Brooklyn, go to the Wizards. They'll sell some jerseys. They would love to pay you $60 million.
Yeah, go home to DC, Kevin.
That's crazy. And even that, like, it's like, whoa, we don't know if we want him now. If it happens, I don't think any of us are gonna be pissed. Like, all right, what worst thing? All right,
hey, dude. 3 years. If news breaks that KD's coming to San Antonio,
if 3 years from now, if you win a championship and you're 40 years old, I don't give a shit. We'll pay you $80 million. I don't care. Well, like, money doesn't matter at that point if we win a championship, winning everything. But like, whoa, buddy, 60 a year at age 40.
Nah, because you have to think about it like this. Even the indestructible LeBron James, who's played since he was 17, 18 years old. And he spends $1 million a year on his body. We know the whole regimen. When he got to 40 years old, he was like out intermittently going to Germany to get his stem cell, whatever regen shots out for like 2 or 3 weeks at a time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally, like, hey, I'll be back in 2 weeks. Left the Lakers while they have a game tomorrow night. Like,
right. And that's when he started turning 40. That he would just be out for like 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks. Like I just don't. That does not sit right with me unless something freakish happened. But like 40 years old on the bench, 60 million. He's out playing. I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me, and especially again, like Reagan said, if we can get KD and he's in a Spurs uniform, like that would be pretty insane. We know how efficient he's going to be, but please God, don't give up anything that we don't want to give up, right?
Yeah.
LeBron hasn't played more than 71 games since 2018 with the Cavs.
That's
right.
7 years ago.
The last 5 seasons, he's gone 45 games, 56, 55, 71, and 70 the last 2 years, which is pretty damn good. That's probably just sitting out back to backs, but still, like, he's kind of like Alex said, indestructible, superhuman. I don't think KD. Well,
KD's not built like that.
The same. Yeah, he's got this.
LeBron's never had a torn Achilles in his.
Exactly.
Yeah, so a little bit different situation with that, but
But on that same show, if we're talking shams on Pat, on that same show, he then said, "I've been hearing and I see the Spurs very much so holding all their cards for a different All-Star who's much more along their timeline. So under 30 years old, I'd say."
He said that, and then they were like, who? And he was like, he's not available yet.
Yes,
he's not available yet. So it could be anybody.
In a year. Could be anyone. And
And he was like, look at what happened with the De'Aaron Fox situation. Like, that wasn't somebody they were planning to go out and get, but circumstances happened and cards fell a certain way, and they had the capital ready to go. So I think he was kind of suggesting that it's more about us being ready and able to make that move happen when the opportunity presents itself, rather than us going out and potentially overpaying for somebody that just doesn't necessarily fit for all the right reasons. So,
and then right after that, you're seeing all the reports: Giannis, Jaylen Brown.
Yes, and God forbid we get Jaylen Brown. What do y'all think of?
Yeah,
what is that?
It'd be tough. It'd be tough, but
I mean, look, Jaylen Brown,
Finals MVP.
I was gonna say he's the Finals MVP. 28 years old. He's 1 year older than Fox. That fits the timeline. He's 6'6", plays 2-3. We need that spot. He has a 7-foot wingspan. That's right up Brian's alley. He's not a liability on D.
Yep.
I don't know, like what obviously
that price is going to be crazy though, dude. It's going to
crazy.
It's going to be Barnes, Vassell, and it's going to be their pick swap back. It's going to be
Stephon
14 this year. It's going to be Castle. It's going to be everything.
Yeah.
Like they throw the whole kitchen
I
sink,
would
bro.
not
He's
trade Castle and the whole bunch for him. But
I won't either.
It revolved around picks. It was mainly revolved around picks, and it was take some money. If it was the Harrison, Devin, and Malachi or something, and then 5 first-rounders. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a lot. It's a lot for a guy who doesn't know what a left hand dribble is.
We all do not like Jaylen Brown, but maybe we don't like. Maybe he's a Spur. He like flies below the radar. He doesn't have to be the number 1 on a team. He'd be the two on the team or 3 on the team, given the night if Fox is going off. I mean, I don't know. I started talking myself into it, but we all know how we feel about Jaylen Fox.
Well, what's his contract? Is anyone want to look that up really quick?
Maybe it's like 53 a year.
53 a year. Okay, I thought he got.
He signed.
I'd rather pay him in 2 years 54 mil a year at age 30 than paying KD 63 at age 40.
True. Facts.
So yeah, next season 53, and then it goes 57, 61, 65.
Oh, okay. So 61.
65 at age 32 as he starts,
That's prime. But but then it sounds like they're all going to be making that money then. So if we're going to want to start, we can't be that. They're all going to. Wemby's going to be making 80 mil in 8 years. Probably, that's what it's going to be. All the cap, all that shit's going up, and so are the contracts. So we can't really complain about it.
That's fair, man. That's fair. Hey, time will tell. And I wonder if Shams knows anything about that player who is yet to, basically say that they're on the trade block yet, right? I mean, do you think he knows?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he's just more pointing to us, like, our general philosophy we're going to maintain our capital so that when that player does come available, we're ready to strike.
Yeah, we have the best options at that point. Let all these teams overbid. Let freaking Toronto send a crazy ass package for 37-year-old KD.
Hurdle quickly,
We'll hold
Barrett,
it
and
out.
5 picks.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
crazy. We'll hold it out, and we'll be the team to have all the assets when the real young star comes available.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Well, again, yeah, we will see. Look, at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind that either. Jaylen Brown he's pretty badass.
He's a
And
stud.
hey,
He's a stud.
maybe not all the
He can
answers, but
shoot it.
KD's answer might be answered by the time we do our next pod, because draft
True.
week is next week. That this will be our last pod before the draft. So hopefully, something. I just want the saga to be over. Whether it's with
Shoot,
us,
man.
someone else,
Yeah.
I'm just sick of it. Please just Phoenix
I
trade it,
know.
man.
Just get us there.
Yeah.
It's gonna the KD thing is gonna happen between when the finals end and before the draft.
On the draft. So
that is a pretty much. It seems pretty known that in those few days is when the KD thing is going to be moved.
Or Phoenix just shot themselves in the foot even more, because then they lose out on this draft. So
yeah.
So it has to happen, or
he's got to be moved before the 25th of June, basically.
Gosh, that is.
So who knows? Next pod who might come on might be wearing KD jerseys. Who knows?
For real.
Yeah. We might be sending her.
We can't wait to pay him $60 million in 3 years. We don't give a shit. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see.
You have 3 rings by then.
Well, speaking of this, right? So kind of going back, one last little thing playing into those rumors is, I guess one of KD's closest mates, right? Royal Ivey, the assistant coach for the Houston Rockets. He has been rumored to have been an interest of Mitch Johnson to join his staff.
Yep.
And obviously that would make sense, right? I mean, obviously he led South Sudan.
He's best buds with KD.
Yeah.
He's like in KD's circle.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that at all. This is news to me. Whoa.
Yeah.
That says okay. That's way more. Sorry, I completely interrupted you, but I had no idea. That says way KD's more circle, than I thought it did.
And this weekend or this weekend, KD, Wemby, and Harper are all going to be at that Fanatics Fest thing.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
the smoke is there.
The smoke is there.
They played together in OKC.
Got it. Okay. Well, and I know that he led. Yeah, and I know this coach, assistant coach, he led South Sudan's team in the Olympics, and I remember I was like, dude, South Sudan is they got some dogs, dude. Like
they put up shots. Yeah,
they put up some. Yeah, they gave it a fight. I liked how he coached. So that would be interesting if he did join our staff. Yeah. He was formerly with the Rockets, so maybe we have some better intel and game planning against our rivals there.
And Ime's a good coach, so he learned from him for a year or two, however long he's been on the staff.
Yep.
And I just like that Mitch is bringing in new young guys, new brains for the squad. We all kind of agree we didn't really like the staff last year. Sure. No one really brought fire to the guys. So I like this, bringing in new minds, new young guys who can do stuff.
Yeah. Last point there kind of adds to the smoke with the KD rumor. So again, we'll see. Now I think we've rambled on enough. I think it's time to get into our special guest. His name is Jack Thompson, everyone, and we're going to cut to that right now. This is already pre-recorded, so we hope you enjoyed the segment, and we'll see you on the other side. Alrighty, Spurs Bros, thank you for sticking with us. We have a very special guest with us today. His name is Jack Thompson. Welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Glad to be on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jack, you are a former ESPN SA talk radio, and now you're San Antonio Sports Star Radio. Is that correct?
Yeah, man. I did the show over there for like 3-4 years. It was great. Yeah, great.
Oh, good stuff, man. Well, hey, look, we appreciate you coming on the podcast. We wanted to have you on for a bit, as we kind of said in the beginning of the podcast, which was, we've been waiting for this moment, which is next week, 2025 NBA draft, for so long. It feels like months now. And we know that we wanted to have you on because we know you've got some takes. So, man, I say let's just hop right into it. Stu, you got our first spicy question for Jack.
KD or Giannis, which one do you want? Nah, I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, dude, you know your ball. You know college basketball just as much as me and stuff.
Right.
What we're
more,
talking draft.
honestly.
Hey. we're both Duke boys though. So what's your plan? Harper's the guarantee. Who would you want at 14? We can even talk 38. Who's your favorite prospects in the draft? And obviously the closer we get, sounding more and more like Harper's a for sure thing. But would you even consider trading down from 2 for any sort of package?
Oh, I mean, I thoroughly believe that 2 was sent to us by the basketball gods for us to not draft. and for us to build our team around trading back. Like you said, Duke boys, I would love to trade back from 2 to like 6, 7 and try to get us some Malawatch. Common Malawatch and Wemby would be, I don't know how you score on that in the paint if they're out there together. I don't know how you grab a rebound. I don't know how you do anything against those guys. But I mean, talking about Harper, he's a fantastic prospect. Nothing against the guy. I don't see how he really fits with the team we have now. If we would have never have got Fox, then yeah, Harper's a no-brainer. He's automatic no-brainer at number 2. But I don't know why we take adding another 19-year-old to the squad. I'm not sure how much that really moves the needle until, we get 2-3 years into having him on the team. But if we're re-signing Fox to a 5-year extension, why would we need, 3 top-level guards? Who's going to handle the rock? How does anyone get in a rhythm? It just doesn't really make sense to me. But, yeah, like you said, the closer we get to it, it's sounding like Harper is the guy. And I'm not opposed. He could be a stud, and maybe we trade Fox in a couple years to let Harper shine. But, yeah, I think Harper is looking like what we're going to do, even though, we talk about it all the time. Hit up New Orleans or Washington. Those guys are dying for another star, especially a guard to add to what they have. So that's who I'm calling.
Yeah, Washington next to Sarr. Pelly's next to Zion. I mean, and then they both have great wings. Koulibaly, Trey Murphy. Either guy. But
yeah, I think New Orleans is actually happy at 7, and I don't think they're going to go guard. I'll just leave it at that. But as far as like you said, Jack, it looks, all signs are pointing to us drafting Harper. And something we talked about, Alec and I did last week, and we're going to talk about again, or like we did talk about again on this week's show, is whether he should be guaranteed a starting spot at the beginning of the season, or if he should come off the bench like Castle did last year and have to kind of prove himself and earn that. Whether that takes 2 games or 30 games remains to be seen. But do you think that as the number 2 pick, he should be guaranteed a starting spot? Or is this, look at Stephon Castle, the 4 pick last year, go do the same thing, prove it, start on the bench?
It's tough because to draft someone at number 2 and have them come off the bench, that's a wild ask, honestly. But with the way our team is built, having 3 guards out there that none of them are really big floor spacers, they're all off the dribble creators. It shrinks the floor a lot for what we want to do with Wemby, because you can kind of sag off all 3 of those guys and pack the paint, get in the gaps, all of that. I would like to say you start him, move Castle to the 3 because he's big and strong and, he can guard just about anyone. But just the no spacing is going to make things really tough on offense because obviously if we keep, if we don't do anything, Harrison Barnes starts at the 4. So we really only got 1 floor spacer out. And you pack the paint, get in those gaps, you make those guys shoot the ball, and that could turn really ugly really fast.
I think that's doing Wemby a disservice. I think why are we trying to worry so much about, we got it just for Harper's mentality. We got to start him because he's the number 2 pick, even though it doesn't fit with the starting 5. Even Fox and Castle, all of them are behind Wemby. Wemby is the guy, our number 1A, the guy we care about the most. We need it. Why are we worried about making the other guys happy if it's going to do Wemby a disservice out there on the floor and not make him thrive? And we know to start the game too, because he, especially coming back from an injury now, he's going to be back to probably 6 minutes, and then he's out of the game. He needs to get 6 shots up in the first 6 minutes before his first quarter is already done.
Right. Yeah, no, it's all really great points too. And the thing that I was thinking about when you mentioned that, Jack, is something that Reagan and I touched on last week, which is this KOC article, this long in depth thing that he put together about the Spurs and our sort of conundrum and drafting for, talent, but also doesn't really fit the best. And one of the things that he mentioned was having 3 guys who are basically like to get downhill, like you said, need to get in a rhythm, dribble. None of them are just snipers. Clogging up that paint kind of pushes Wemby out to the wing. And yes, he can shoot. Obviously, he increases splits, year over year. But we know how much more effective he is down low, right? Like I think in that same KOC article, he said, yeah, Wemby shot whatever 72, 78% uncontested in the paint. Like that's insane number. So like it's hard because you've got three guys who want to go right in that same direction, which then inadvertently pushes Wemby out to the wing more. It's not what we want. So really interesting. How about 14? Again, we're assuming we're just kind of going down the list, questions that we've already asked before of ourselves is, assuming we keep number 2 and assuming we keep 14. Somebody interesting there that you like? I mean, obviously, got to be wing or big there.
Yeah, gotta be wing or big. If the likes of a Derek Queen falls there, that's an easy grab, but I don't think he falls that far. One guy that I do really like is Rasheer Fleming from St. Joe's. 6'9", 7'5" wingspan. Shot 40% from the 3 at St. Joe's. I mean, he's the prototypical NBA 4 right now. Can guard 1 through 5 with that athleticism, wingspan. He knocks down the open 3. He's been working. I've been watching a lot of his workouts. He's got a really smooth jumper. He's got solid handles. That's a guy I like a lot there. I would like, Igor Dineman at 14, a guy that could come off the bench, play a lot of different positions, handle the rock. Shooting is coming a long way. Just
like Josh Giddey.
Yeah, got some Josh Giddey in his game. Probably even a better shooter right now than Josh Giddey is, but not really like the PG type, creating handles, but a really, really underrated playmaker and passer. The guy, Noah, I don't know how to say his last name, the French kid. He's super intriguing, got really, really high upside, been playing pro ball already, so he knows what, the pro game feels like. Yep. Guys like that, are more projects, but you draft them at 14, you can let them sit and bake for a little while, give them spot minutes, coming off the bench, stuff like that. I'm really looking at like multi-positional wings at 14, unless a big does fall there.
Is that your ideal, say KD falls through in the next week? It's not us, because obviously we assume if we're getting KD, 14's gone. And, I think we're all on board for KD over a 19-year-old upside player, even though he's going to cost money, whatever. But a couple weeks ago, we were talking about 14, and we were saying we've kind of missed on these guys in the draft. Obviously, Devin, Al, you can delete this, but Primo, I couldn't think of his name. But we've missed on these guys around that pick, and there's been a lot of talk with Brooklyn, about if we traded 14 for 19 or their 27, 20, shut up, Al, 27, 29 and got Cam Johnson. Are you down for anything like that, getting a more solidified guy already in the league if we can turn that 14 into someone else and trade back or trade it fully?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Stu, you know how I feel about our boy Devin Vassell. So if we could lump Devin and 14 together and go grab Cam Johnson in like 27, that is literally ideal. I mean, Cam Johnson is the 4 that you need next to Wemby. I mean, 4 spacer to the max, elite shooter in the league. Like he's literally the perfect fit next to Wemby. So if we could get rid of Devin's contract and go get a player like Cam Johnson, who we've seen, thrive with stars around him, that's a no-brainer for me.
You're right. That's what he really broke out in Phoenix, I guess, with the better guys around him. Yeah.
The fact that we all, sorry, Reagan, I'm going to say something real quick. The fact that we all, it's a win-win to get rid of Devin. Like we get another player back and we get rid of $30 million Devin off the.
He played himself into this position.
I know.
His fault.
I know.
I mean, it's the $30 million. That's the thing. If Devin was making $8 million a year,
the value.
We'd all be happy with Devin if he was making $8 million a year and he could go off for 20 on any random night.
He was making $15 million. Yeah, I think that's fine.
15 or 20 would be much more reasonable.
Keldon numbers.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why
a guy on a roster and put up those that much inconsistency for multiple seasons now. It's like you've proven who you are, and unless there's a drastic change in the role or in what you're being asked to do, or somehow you go and do a 10-day stay at a monastery in Shaolin, China, and you figure out how your brain works better. I don't know what you got to do, but it's not working anymore for Devin.
Yeah.
No. And the thing is, at the end of the season, we're like, all right, let's tank Devin, go do what you want. And suddenly he's putting up all these crazy numbers, and now he's making $30 million a year. That's just like false numbers from Devin, because when it really matters, he rarely shows up.
I had something though, because I was looking at some mock drafts today, and I know Rasheer Fleming has been on a lot of our minds for that 14th pick, but he's now being mocked a lot lower than that over the last week. I'm seeing stuff 22 all the way down to 27, 21 for him. So is there a way that we can entertain that same trade with the Nets to maybe grab Cam Johnson and we trade back all the way to 27 or 28 that they have in the late first round and still find Rasheer Fleming on our roster?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that happening. For me, if we're going to get Cam, I'm not sure Rasheer Fleming falls high on my list that far back. For me, and I've told Stu this, I think if we trade back deep into the first, Ryan Kalkbrenner is my guy. I mean, 7'2",
Creighton,
4-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year, played all 4 years in college, immediately plug-and-play guy, a guy that can take a lot of pressure off of Wemby down low. He's a guy that you put in the game and you don't have to worry about immediately the rim is wide open like it has been for us when we take Wemby off the court. He's got a lot of, Jakob Poeltl in his game, really good passer out of the double team. In his workouts, I've seen that he can really he's got a much better shot than he ever got to use in college, just because why shoot a three at 7'2" in college when you can just post everyone up and, dunk all over them. But I really, really like Ryan Kalkbrenner at the back end of the first round if we get back there.
Definitely a spot we need to fill, the backup center. We all know that.
Yeah, 7'1", 7'5" wingspan. People have him. Sports Illustrated has him as at 22, and then Fox Sports has him all the way back to 30. So yeah, anywhere in that sort of range.
I'm looking at the Ringer has him 32 right now. So like there's a lot of options that creates for him.
And he's on a rookie contract for 4 years, so we don't have to go pay Nasri like $35 million a year.
He'll be in his prime at 27 on a rookie, like the back end of his rookie deal. Yeah, there's a lot of value there for kind of the timeline that we're hoping to be on, being a playoff team next season.
Yeah.
He's played in a lot of high-pressure games. I mean, he's a guy that you can immediately put in there and not worry about him shrinking in the moment.
Yeah, they were making a couple of deep runs in March Madness.
Yeah, and we know Creighton has a great coach, Mr. McBucket. So, I mean, he's been coached good for 4 years. He's been, like, through the ropes. Like, if you made a mistake in college, you're getting taken off at Creighton. It's, like, kind of a UConn type of program. So, I mean, yeah, I would definitely like someone like that.
Me, selfishly, I've talked a lot about Danny Wolf. Does he intrigue you at all, or is he kind of, man?
I do like Danny Wolf. I mean, he's got an insane amount of skill for a big guy. Guard handles, can shoot the three. If he reaches max potential, he's got like an Alperen Sengun, poor man, Sabonis type feel to his game. An insane passer for
yes, he is.
The height that he's at. So, yeah, I mean, Danny Wolf, that's someone that I would entertain at 14, no doubt. I mean, he's another guy who's played a lot of college basketball. He knows what kind of player he is. He fits in his role. One thing I do kind of worry about him is like backup center. He's not a super agile, athletic kind of guy. So I could see him falling off like defensively, which is really where we need that backup center to be.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Danny Wolf, super intriguing guy, an insane amount of skill for a guy his size.
The one other question in this range was somebody that's been mentioned more in the last week at this 14 spot for us is Joan Behringer. I think the French center. You know anything about him? Because he's a name that's popped up more recently in the draft cycle.
Yeah, like over the past week, seeing his name pop up so much, I've looked at a lot of his tape. I mean, he's super, super raw, big time prospect, gonna have to bake a little bit, probably spends a lot of time in the G, which is not a bad thing, but yeah, I mean, 6'11", he's got a 7'4" wingspan, hyper athletic, doesn't have a terrible shot, but definitely he's a project for sure. I mean, he plays in a lower level French league, not a top league like Traore or Noah Esengu or whatever. Those guys play in higher level French leagues, but that guy, he's got a lot of upside. It's just about, can he get there is really the thing.
And thinking about, because I was looking at mock earlier and thinking about this trade back again. So, like, at the start of last season, remember, like, Traore was supposed to be like a top 5. He was solidified like top 5 pick. Hugo Gonzalez from Real Madrid was supposed to be solidified top 10. And then today I'm looking at multiple mocks. They're both like 20 to 30 range. So it just shows how crazy this draft can be. So I'm super down even more, like, trade 14 back. And you know the Spurs, especially the French guys and Hugo, we've been following these Europeans since they were probably 13 years old. So if we like know who they are as people, know their game inside and out, and like we know that's them, I'd prefer for sure not to overdraft them at 14, trade back, at least get some trade value, whatever, some future first, whatever, and then snag someone like that. But yeah, it just shows basically the whole first round this year. Any of them could kind of like win Rookie of the Year next year, honestly, depending on what team they're on, how many minutes they get, all that. It's pretty crazy.
Anybody else at 38 that interests you, or
now we're going deep
to 38? There's the Chinese center that I really like, 7'2" boy, got a lot of skill. I like the way he plays. Another elite passer. There's the kid Yannick from Penn State, extremely athletic 7-footer.
Right.
Would immediately get in the league and be one of the most athletic centers in the league. But yeah, back there, I mean, it's anyone's guess, really. But there's a lot of diamond in the rough bigs, I feel like, that you could get back there. There's Renaud. She's got a lot of offensive upside. She's French, so I mean that's another connection there.
Well, that's Wemby's little chest buddy, huh?
Yeah.
At that point, though, it's a hit or a miss. It's a guess. You're just there. No matter anyone in the second round is basically going to be G League for a year, maybe 2.
Yeah.
And if they can make it out, then good for them. Yeah. So it's draft night, Wednesday. You're ready. You're all hyped up. What's your best scenario for us to make playoffs, maybe make second round, maybe make Western Conference Finals next year? How are we doing that on draft night? What are we doing? Are we trading picks? Are we just picking 214? What are we doing? Are we getting KD before then? What's your best way for us to be a winning team next year?
For me, it's you're trading number 2. You're trading number 2.
Woo!
You're going to get
bye Harper.
Yeah, sorry Harper. We'll never see you in the
comment section's gonna be hot, Jack.
Oh yeah,
that's fine. I love all the smoke, man. I want everyone to hit me up on X about it. But yeah, trade Harper. For me, I've been really liking, like I said, Nola and Washington. I think they both have 6 and 7. I think you could go get, from Washington, I'll give you Devin and 2, and you give me Bilal, Corey Kispert and 6, maybe throwing a little Sadiq Bey in there if you want to match the contracts a little bit more. And then suddenly we've got extreme floor spacing. We've got defenders in Bilal. And then at 6, you go get Malawatch for that monster center off the pine. I mean, you got a deep team that can defend, shoot, and has length there.
Yes.
And then if we're talking Nola, I mean, I know they were shopping Trey Murphy, and it came out recently that they're asking a lot more than he's worth to go get him. So at first, when I was thinking about this, I would want Trey Murphy, but I feel like they've really fallen off the Herb Jones train. So I'll give you, Devin or Harrison Barnes in 2. You give me Herb Jones and Yves Misi in 7. And then we go get some Con Canoopel for this floor spacing, the feel for the game. Suddenly, I mean, you're starting Herb Jones at the 3 with Fox and Castle, Jeremy at the 4 with Wemby. You've got 2 lockdown defenders, 2 ball handlers and Wemby, and then Yves Misi as the backup center with Khan and Keldon.
Go sign a good free agent point guard and
Tyus Jones.
That's a top 5 defense.
Man. Go get Tyus Jones. That's a cheap guy that can run the point off the bench, no mistakes, elite assist to turnover ratio. I mean, he's led the league in that for like the past 5 years. So go get some Tyus Jones for like $5 million a year. I think you can easily get him for that because he's making like $2 million now. So yeah, I mean, Tyus Jones off the bench with any combination of those guys with Kel and Yves Misi or Herb or Corey Kispert and Bilal. I mean, you got a really deep defending, shooting team right there.
I'm about to say, like, I like where your head's at because that is where I've sort of gravitated to as well. Like over this past couple months, everyone brings up the same examples, right? You don't want to miss on a Luka. Oh, hey, De'Aaron Fox said he wanted a center instead of a whatever. You got to draft for best talent. But my heart is like, but we're missing defense and shooting. Like we're just missing defense,
and
shooting.
we have the best
and
talent in Wemby.
Exactly, and we had the best talent in Wemby. So like, and I understand it, but I'm with you though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, you look at both of the teams in the finals. They've got two superstars, a third really good, up and coming, can on any given night can go, lead the team in points or whatever. We've got that. We've got Wemby, we've got Castle, we've got Fox. Now it's about filling it, the rest of the team, with the right pieces, and that starts with a backup center that we can rely on to not, the team doesn't fall apart when Wemby's not out there.
Right.
And guys that can space the floor and defend.
If that happens, then with all the depth that trade would create, there's not much of a need to pick at 14. We can trade that away and continue to stockpile draft assets along the lines of what Shams Charania was saying on Pat McAfee show this week, that we're continuing to position ourselves for when that star player becomes available. So if that were to happen, you make this trade, are you still picking at 14 or are you selling that one too?
Yeah, I would probably sell that one too, because there would be no need to add, another guy who's not going to play, any minutes with the depth we would have. And yeah, like you said, Shams said that the Spurs are positioning themselves to get that next disgruntled young star. With that depth and the amount of picks that we have, we would really be able to get whoever we want if we want to be aggressive enough.
Yeah,
all about flexibility. Yeah,
you heard it here first. We're not even picking next Wednesday night. We're trading both of them. Oh, I guess
case,
I guess we're just trading back. We're still
we're not picking at 2 or 14.
Yeah,
I'd be thrilled with it if we would be picking. We would be picking if we trade two.
That top
we'd
10,
be getting scenario that I just said, which Alec, Trey Johnson, any of those guys would be thrilled.
We've said Trey Johnson would be a flip for Devin Vassell real quick. That's
easy.
like the same player with way more upside already. Just a straight bucket. That's
already more consistent. Yeah. Already more consistent.
Dude, he's young Ray Allen.
Yes,
he's literally young Ray Allen.
Dude, he can shoot off the catch.
Here comes Alec.
Off the curl, exactly. Yeah, dude.
I'll brick bad.
No, I am, dude. I am. He's kind of got that same size. I mean, like, yeah, he's smooth.
He's got that. Like, you watch young Ray Allen when he first came out. He wasn't just a shooter. Ray Allen was going in and putting people in the rim. Yep. And Trey Johnson has a lot of that game in him. He's like a combo like Ray Allen with. I mean, he's got much better handles than Ray Allen did coming out.
Yeah.
But he's probably not as good at a defender. That's kind of where Trey Johnson falls off. He's not not an elite defender. He's got to put on muscle, but he might be right now the best offensive player in, the top whatever 10. I mean, the amount of times that Texas just handed him the ball and said, "Go get us this W," and he was able to do it.
Yeah.
Was amazing.
So that's how you think we're best chance of winning next year. Now, do you think that's what we do? Or what do you think realistically now? What's happening Wednesday night? What's happening Wednesday?
We're going to draft 2 and 14, brother.
And we're going to run it. Same squad. Same
squad. Maybe make the play-in. And we're a year from now, we are sitting in the same spot talking about the same thing.
Yeah. Please, Atlanta, lose tonight. Please. We have your swap. Oh, God.
Oh, that just got so negative so fast.
But I'm with you, though. If it's Harper, especially if it's another rookie at 14, but just the fact Harper and whoever else, and just a light free agent, not picking up really anyone.
We just use that
run
mid-level
it back
and call it. Yeah.
Yeah. We're playing, and then you lose one of those play-ins, you're out.
Because I think that's true, because it's going to take long time to like get chemistry together again, like with Fox, Stephon, Dylan Harper, like they all like to do the same thing. Wemby obviously got to have his touches, superstar. We're playing around Wemby. It's not like it's just not going to flow well. And so even if we're talented enough with like a lot of like top-sided talent, it's just we're not going to meld together as fast. Versus if we went like more, just like evenly spread out, really build around Wemby. If you have a Bilal who can shoot, two-way guy, can defend, and then have a guy, like you said, a backup center who's reliable coming off the floor, we're going to be a lot better, a lot quicker. And that goes a lot further, later on in the season too. So like I can see that team overperforming and making it the second round, for example.
And if people just real good, people want to say, "Oh, Dylan Harper, the timeline, bro." Bilal's like 21 too. He's Wemby's age. That's like 21, 19. There's no difference.
Yeah, they're the same draft class.
Yeah,
but I mean, you look at the Thunder 3 seasons ago. They won 24 games.
Yeah.
Now they're about to. I mean, they're game 7 in a few days from winning a championship. 3 years removed from a 24-win season. That could happen, but they've had to make some transactions. They haven't only relied on the draft. They had to move Josh Giddey, bring in Alex Caruso. They brought in Hartenstein. Like, there are some of those acquisitions that we're going to have to make.
And all that is while their best guys are still on cheap contracts, like the position we're in right now. Wemby, Castle on the cheap contracts.
Yeah. While we have the flexibility, why not get a little bit more aggressive and see how far we can push this thing and how fast we can do it? We do it smart without mortgaging the future, but we have so many assets. Why not go make a couple of moves to push this thing a little bit quicker?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Agreed. You know, it just sucks because obviously we don't want to be bad again next year, but next year's draft has the potential to be absolutely absurd.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Other
the
than
three-headed
Dybansa?
monster at the top with Dybansa, Darren Peterson, and Cam Boozer. Like,
Boozer, yeah.
my God. Who knows who's going to be number one? And there's always going to be guys that come out of nowhere, too. So
For sure.
next year's draft could be even better than this one.
But that's why we have Atlanta swap. Let's just go win the finals and then get a top 8 pick or something from Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would be ideal. All right. Well, really, man, that's all we had. I think we covered a lot of ground there. 2-14, what we think we're going to do versus what you'd like us to do. 38. Any other last remarks? Any other last things you want to say before we head out?
Nah, I mean, I think we really covered it. Yeah, it's been a pleasure being on, guys. Love listening to y'all's stuff. Love seeing y'all all over X when y'all post. It's awesome. Awesome.
That's Reagan, man. That's Reagan.
Appreciate
He's been
it,
on
man.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing my best as a
Yes,
social
sir.
media
Yeah.
manager.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Anything you got to plug, Jack?
Yeah.
I mean, nothing as of yet. Me and the guys, we had something going before, Elon decided we were too good for Twitter. But it's coming back. Read Between the Lines is coming back. If it's just me and without the guys, Louie and Clay, my brother, it's coming back. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll have to collab on some stuff for sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let us know. I had some trouble with our X account at the beginning of this thing too, and I had to go get it back like after the first week. So
You did. That's right.
Yeah, I legit got suspended, I think twice in the first week or two. So just fight them enough, it'll come back. RBTLs will be back on the timeline. I'm sure. We're excited for it.
Good stuff, man. Alrighty, sir. Well, thank you again for coming on, and we'll see you next Wednesday. We'll hopefully be in touch next Wednesday. And
yeah,
best of luck to the Spurs.
We'll do post draft.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Go Spurs, go, man.
Good to talk to you, man.
Later, bro.
All right.
Laters.
All right, that was Jack Thompson. Again, a lot of takes there. Very interesting stuff. And as we've been saying this whole episode, Wednesday next week cannot come soon enough. We're probably going to be recording after the draft and get a show out afterwards. But if there's some sort of crazy news, we might be dropping a little emergency pod because I know there's a lot of different possibilities that can be happening. Maybe even before the finals are over, there might be something that happens. So y'all have anything else?
I think that's it, man. Just get us to next week, man. I'm excited. I will be excited, man.
Dylan Harper will be a San Antonio Spur in T-minus 7 days.
Jeez. Famous last words right there.
Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the ass.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Well, good show, boys. And from the Spurs Bros, go Spurs, go.